and today we're going to be talking about WWE 2k19 and more specifically my thoughts on the game, or at least the bit of the game that I got to play. And I thought I would make a video kind of telling you guys what I think, what the direction of the game is this year. Do I think it'll last? What I liked, what I didn't like, and I thought I would just make a video kind of talking about all of that stuff. So when we went to the WWE Performance Center, 2K sat us down in front of a bunch of developers, and they played a little pre-show before we could sit down and play the game. And it was essentially the direction of the game that they're taking it this year and things like that. And they showed off the trailer that you guys saw. I think you guys might have seen it before we did, actually. Because we were in the Performance Center, we couldn't look at our phones and all that kind of stuff. But they released the My Career trailer with all the Bray Wyatt stuff. And that was like the big first trailer for 2K19 where people are like, yo, what is going on this year? So we kind of saw that, I'm pretty sure after you guys saw it, but it was still like a big shock to everyone in the room. You know, it's like, what is happening here? We have seen nothing of this sort before this moment. And I thought that was really cool. They put up a PowerPoint, and the first slide was essentially, we want to make this game fun again.
No, I like that a lot. I truly indeed like what he said right there. That is how you start off a video, and that is how you start off showing your the people that are going to be showing your game. I love that. That was the most beautiful thing I've heard in a while of what 2K has done in terms of sharing out the game. So already we're off to a good start, with Pulse. And I know what you're thinking. Oh man, he is showing his avatar. Well, he's not showing his face. Well, I'm going to show my face in the future. But right now, I might as well use an avatar that I am more comfortable with than, just giving you a black screen or giving you a logo that's going to shake up and down, So I will indeed give my thoughts on this, and I hope you're able to come and ride along with this or not, because I am definitely going to give my opinion as well, and it's very unbiased. So let's do this, and I really like what he said there. I truly do. That sounds absolutely amazing. But yeah, let's continue with the video. And I'm Marcus Baker, and let's get right into this thing.
Which was a fantastic thing to hear, because we have been petitioning for that for a while. At least I know specifically I have been petitioning to make this game fun again. When I went to the last creator meetup, which, by the way, this was not that. I think a lot of people were asking. This was not the creator meetup, so they didn't like sit us in a room and ask us what we think should be improved on the game. Maybe they did that. Maybe that was what the trip to Seattle was for a lot of people. I know I wasn't invited to any creator meetup thing like that where I sat down and gave them my thoughts on the game and where it should go and all this kind of stuff. I did do it for after 2K17, it was for 2K18. That was the last one I went to, and that's the one where I reamed them for like 30 straight minutes on the franchise in general, because I felt like the game was falling off a cliff and it was going down fast.
And if you're an adult, you always can tell, behind the thin walls that are created for children and teenagers not to really see. I've seen Pulse for the last few years, ever since 2K15. He tried his hardest to make it as entertaining as possible, but it's like year after year he's putting in hours trying to make this fun, creative, to have something to talk about, to have fun with these games, and every single year it gets downgraded. He stops playing it, after a while. He gives it up after a certain while, and he spends less and less time on it than he did in the previous year. Not because of his sake, but what the game is giving him, the source material is giving him to continue on. It gets less and less, great. It becomes the same copy and paste thing over and over again. And Paul sees it. He definitely sees it. And I do respect him for trying so many years to keep this in and, put his heart and soul into that 30-minute speech, because I can tell he definitely laid a number. But it's sad it took them almost 2 years to deliver what he said for 30 straight minutes. But let's continue on with this video. But I do agree that Pulse knows that this was indeed going downhill, and it might still be going downhill.
But I did not get invited to anything like that this year. But essentially what I said was the game needs more longevity, the game needs to be more fun, and things need to be changed in that direction, or else this is just not going to sustain itself. There's just no way it's going to happen. So seeing that first slide saying we want to make the game fun, fantastic. I'm not saying you have to make it WWE All-Stars 2, but you need to definitely add something fun to this game because it's getting really repetitive. I'm getting a lot of franchise fatigue. I was just getting sick of it, honestly. On the way up to this, you can see how fatigued I was with the series. I did not like the direction it was going in. I was just not happy with it at all, and you could see it in my attitude and in the way that I reacted to things. I was just not happy with what we had last year. I didn't really like 2K18 that much at all.
I'm happy. I'm happy Pulse is definitely telling me this, even though I already knew by his face and knew even in from years ago. But I'm very disappointed in 2K that they didn't even invite Pulse this year, to talk again, and that's a bad sign for me, especially when you hear the fact that Pulse went over there and he gave them 30 minutes of love, passion, and respect, holding the shoulders of us fans and speaking it from our perspective and from mostly his perspective. And he's not invited back the next year. It's kind of insane to me, but in a certain way they're probably listening. But the thing is with me, I don't understand certain fans that say, oh man, why are you complaining? This is the most best looking game. Look how they sell the moves and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, that's all quality. Where's the fun? Where's the quantity? Where's something that is going to last? And I think that's what a lot of fans always forget to say. Well, I won't even say fans, because these are the same people who will say that something like Fire Pro is trash because it lacks that playability, even though it has a lot of playability. Pulse himself has shown you for over a year now, almost going on 2 years, that quality doesn't mean a dang on thing. Quantity and how long lasting it is and how it's being treated and being used, that is how you do things. And I'm very happy that Pulse has indeed found something that he can watch, he can play, he can talk to with his fans, and I'm down for the ride. I'm all along with it. This is indeed going to be a long video because Pulse's video is a long video. I'm going to try to cut it as much short as I can, but I'm just going to say this: quantity is better than quality. It is. I assure you that. So I just want to say this: it is a shame. I hope Pulse indeed comes in this following year and he does talk to 2K again. But let's continue with the video.
I knew from the second that I made that My Career video for 2K18, if you guys remember back, when I first uploaded 2K18, when I went to the recording thing for 2K last year, when I saw those loading screens and I was walking around backstage and I'm like, there's nothing to do, I was not talking. I knew what this year was going to be like. In 2K15 to 2K18, there was not a lot there. Honestly, there was not a lot of improvement. And like I said, the franchise fatigue started to set in. I was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. This is just rough. So long story short, I was happy to hear that the game is going to be fun, or at least they were going to try to make it fun again.
That's why I don't like. I don't like how the developers are telling you there's a lot of tries. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. It's too many tries. What about dudes? Where's the confidence at? Where's the confidence? It's like they're losing hope. And it's crazy. It's crazy to me. And when you say there's a lot of tries, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, you're going to get hope. There's going to be fans hoping that this game ain't trash. There's going to be fans that's hoping this game is going to do way more better. There's fans hoping this game will have a longevity. There's fans hoping that this will just be a fun game in general, with no problems and not too many glitches. People are hoping this. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy. You know what's another thing that bothers me, what Pulse said? He said they did a presentation this year saying we want to make the games fun again. Why wasn't that the first priority? It's a video game. It has to be fun. You have to make it fun. Why wasn't that their first thought? Games are supposed to be fun. What? I don't get that. Why all of a sudden, 3 years later after you own the, actually 4 years later after you own the WWE wrestling game franchise, you want to put a presentation up saying, "Oh, we want to make these games fun again." Why wasn't that the first priority? When they say stuff like that, it's another marketing stunt to me. Because I don't like that. That seems like non-genuine at all. It seems non-genuine. Now all of a sudden you want to make these games fun again. You want to make things more wacky and quirky. Even though fans already asked for this. Fans asked about this. You had people like this gen game. I don't want to get into the details, but let's continue on with this video. I'm just saying it's kind of sad that you're telling me these developers, after oh my gosh, after 4 years of holding this franchise, they want to say, let's make these games fun again. What is this? Like, let's continue on.
Not trying to say make All-Stars 2, but if you want to make All-Stars 2, I'm here for that too. Just saying, you want to do that. In a way, WWE2k19 is essentially what 2k18 should have been. I feel like 2k18 could have just been completely pushed out of the series and no one would recognize any difference.
It's the same thing for 15, 16, and 17, and 18. They all in the same category. The thing is, there's really no replayability. The only thing that's replayability that I've seen that other YouTubers just keep using is playing the showcase mode. But then again, those get boring. Those get boring to see now and again. Seeing those old career modes by other different YouTubers year after year, when stuff like 2K17 comes along, and then midway through the year they'll start playing those old showcase modes and they'll work their way back up. Oh, this is the countdown to 2K19. This is the countdown to 2K20. This is the countdown to 2K21. It's going to be like that year after year. So I just got to say, the replayability is only towards the showcase. But 10 years down the line, Pulse, it's going to be just like the game WrestleMania 21 for the Xbox. Nobody, and I truly mean nobody, is not going to be touching that game and highlighting it 10 years or even 5 years down the line. Simple as that, bro. Just simple as that. So they're all in that same category.
To be honest with you, I don't think 2K18 really did anything for the series. I mean, My Career was not good last year. It was just not good. So I was happy to see they changed all that stuff. But 2K19 is essentially what 2K18 should have been. This game got a ton of quality of life updates. It needed them, especially for Universe mode. It definitely needed those quality of life updates. My Career got completely revamped, which it needed to. The gameplay needed to get faster. They changed some of the animations up. They had to do that. But overall, I'm happy in the direction they're taking it. Will this game last, through the DLC cycle and continue? Probably not. The My Career is about 12 to 14 hours, I think is what I read. Maybe 16 hours, probably a little less. Whenever a game says it's 12, 14, 16 hours, you can probably look at a good 10. If you're good at the game, you can probably barrel roll through it. So I don't see many people playing through My Career more than once. Once you beat the main story, it's sort of like NBA where you kind of can just continue doing what you were doing, but without the storyline aspect. So you'll do side quests and stuff. Hopefully this year the side quest stuff isn't completely garbage. If you remember in 2K18, like it was like do a run-in 5 weeks in a row, but you could only do the run-in and then you would skip the pay-per-view. It was horrible. It was so bad. If there's one thing that WWE needs more of, it's game-altering patches as the year is going on. I don't expect them to do that this year, but it would really help a lot. There's some things that probably would have been helped in 2K18 if there was a patch for it. So once you get past the menus and you get into the nitty gritty stuff, you get into the exhibition style stuff, The gameplay hasn't changed very much. They've replaced some animations that smoothen up the gameplay. Things go a little faster than before, which it absolutely needed. These games slug. These are sluggish games. And honestly, the matches start to feel, the more that you play this game, it doesn't even take very long. You could play this game for a week and you feel like you've played pretty much you've kind of done everything. You know, you've felt every match outcome there's going to be. And that's not exactly a good thing. It doesn't have that same pizzazz that something like a Fire Pro would have, where like, you know, I'm 6-7 months in or whatever the case may be, and you know, all of a sudden there's something I've never seen before just happen. It's like 2K doesn't exactly, like, I feel like I've seen everything there is to see.
This is definitely why I respect Pulse. After 6 years, I gotta say he's matured a lot. He's gotten more vocal. He is way more vocal, but he's less wacky. He's less wacky of how he was before. But that's all comes to his maturity. I'm just saying that Pulse is, I'm still happy I'm still backing a guy like Pulse. Even after all these years, even beyond the wacky storylines of 2K14, even beyond the TNA, review and the predictions and stuff like that. I'm just very happy. I'm truly happy that Pulse is indeed being very honest. And I feel as though that's why Pulse was invited this year when it comes down to the creative decisions of 2K19, was because this man's touching Fire Pro. In a certain way, when it comes down to business, that's like saying someone's tainted. It's like a kid saying, oh, they got cooties. They don't want to be involved with that person. But I would say, would they want them to promote his game? Yeah. Do they want him to come back and talk about what we should do? Nah, he's playing Fire Pro. Nah. Well, let's just help him. Let's just get him to, talk about our game, and let's just, keep it at that. Let's try to keep this guy busy. Simple as that, And the thing is, man, in my opinion about Ciampa and Nikki Cross, I feel as though if we would have waited a good month, like in November, like how the release was for 15, I felt like Ciampa and Nikki Cross would have been in the game. Simple as that. The reason why is because, come on now, contracts are easy to sign and go through, and all they gotta do is just change their models, and that's about it, and import them into the game. It's simple as that. But nah, we can't do that, because NBA, came out a month ago, so we might as well just have, the next month later have WWE come out the next month. Simple as that. Good marketing. So let me just say this. Not only did the contracts mess up, but the marketing messed up. I felt like if they would have waited a bit longer, we would have gotten the superstars that you people would have wanted in the game. And that is just my opinion. My opinion. I'm not saying there's a fact, but I strongly stick to that opinion. Because let's be honest here, the marketing has not been too great. But Pulse is right about something. They do know how to show you how, promote the game and stuff like that. They do show you that. And they do it very crisp every single year. But so did THQ. You got to make your game look good. You have to. What, you got to make it look trash, not look great? How you going to sell? How you going to get money? Come on now. You got to think like the people in charge. But other than that, let's continue with the video, because I'm definitely indeed liking this, and I'm liking what Pulse is saying due to the fact that it's coming from honesty. It's just the truth. The truth shall set you free. Simple as that. But let's go on here. By the way, the payback thing is cheap.
Backstage Brawl added the Wyatt compound from the My Career, but it sucks. It's just the worst. To Jinx, who is one of the developers, and I got up like mid as I was recording it, and I was asking, I was like, so what happens on this? And he's like, nothing happens. I'm like, you're kidding. No, nothing happens in the exhibition when there's no OMGs, there's no weapons, there's no interaction. So I was like, there's no way, there's gotta be something. So I went back in, and that's the match that you guys saw on YouTube. I was like, can I throw him in the window? Can I throw him in the house, in the chair, on the car? Can I do anything? You can't. It'll be nice for, I guess, if you're recording stuff, having another place to record something in the highlight reel or whatever the case may be with that. But there's literally nothing you can do here. I mean, Jinx even told me they were almost contemplating patching this out. I don't know if they're still going to, I doubt they're going to do it now since everybody's seen it at this point.
And this is why, indeed, fans, they go back to stuff like SVR 2011, 2008. Hell, they even go back to WWE2k19 that still has more variety than what the Wyatt compound does. It's kind of sad how even though THQ is gone, they're still doing things more better than 2K, which is ridiculous because 2K, is behind Ukes, the same development team that's been behind THQ for so many years, and you're telling me they got something so lackluster is absolutely ridiculous. And then it will be fans, younger fans, thinking, "Well, oh gee golly, well there's probably an OMG moment. There's probably a secret OMG moment. You throw him on the, well, if you throw him on the chair, throw him on the car, and you're doing nothing." People can be easily manipulated like that within this community, which is kind of sad. But Pulse is right. Patch it the hell out. It's kind of sad that another idea was fleshed out with no passion being put into it. It's crazy how the simple things they just can't do. But yet, we're the bad people because we complain about those simple things that add up. Kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy. But let's continue on with this review.
So when we were playing the arcadey versions of WWE back in the day, like Here Comes the Pain, Shut Your Mouth, things like that, it didn't exactly matter what the crowd was doing when it came to what was happening on the screen because we were jumping off of SmackDown fists, we were F5ing through 80 tables, we were jumping from the ring to fucking the crowd. It didn't matter what we did. The issue with the crowd interaction in this game and with the commentary booth, the issue with both of those is that when you're doing a simulation style, which simulates a television show, when I put somebody through a table and the crowd just goes, ugh.
It's worse. It's worse with the smaller crowds. But my biggest problem is that, why is it a problem now? It's been a problem with that for years. It's even been a problem with trying to put people through tables and ladders for years. It's insane to me. And by the way, year after year, the tables, the chairs, the ladders, they slide on out the ring, and you can't even do moves on top of those. It's hard to do moves on top of a ladder. It's hard to do moves on top of a steel steps. It's so bad you have to do a glitch just to do a steel step spot to have fun and do some crazy sick moves while you play games like Here Comes the Pain, and you have no problems with those. You have no problems whatsoever with that. And the thing is about games like Here Comes the Pain, even No Mercy, is that people like Corey Ledesma, they knew, because at that time people like Bubba Ray and RVD was always resorting to matches like TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. They always did matches like that, so they know if you hit somebody with a chair, ooh, if you do a table spot, they mark out. You do a table spot, they mark out. Once that table breaks, no matter what, even with the announce table, those fans are going more crazier than ever. And especially, you had blood pumping music. Not music like the Migos. Thanks, Samoa Joe. Blasting, keeping you going within the gameplay. And that keeps keeping you focused. There's not one time I played Here Comes the Pain and even No Mercy and I felt bored within the gameplay as the fans going crazy cheering. Even with Pulse, when he was playing as Christian, he felt it. Every chair shot, every time he picked his opponent up, you can hear the movement of you picking up your opponent, slamming them down onto the mat. You can hear it. And on top of that, you hear the crowd just cheering. You see the cameras flicker within the, bad pixelated crowd. And blood pumping music all at once. I'm just being honest. For a time like this, quantity is quite beautiful. But let's continue on.
My career, they completely changed it this year. They finally made a my career. Honestly, this isn't my career, right? This is Road to WrestleMania. They just don't want to call it that. It's like if my career and Road to WrestleMania just had a baby. They finally made a real story, my career, which is exactly what people wanted. It's like a Spike Lee joint. If Spike Lee wanted to make it, they could probably get Spike Lee. It'd probably be. Don't even want to talk about what it would be like, but
come on, Pulse. Don't hold back now. If this was indeed, Pulse already knew within his words how bad of a comparison that was if it was a Spike Lee joint. Now let's be real. If it was a Spike Lee joint, it would have been a lot of tragedy to gain attention to the audience. It would have, the tragedy would have happened. It would have been along the lines of drugs, shootings, suicides, and a dark past of, oh, what were you? Oh my gosh, how dare you? How dare you? I was a WWE superstar. I had to retire because I was hurt. I almost were paralyzed. But I love this business. I love wrestling. And then the dude that you replaced in the beginning would have probably shot Baron Blade. That's a Spike Lee joint type of movie. That's a Spike Lee joint type of game. In general. Baron Blade would have got shot. He would have been in the hospital saying, oh, I need you to win WrestleMania. I need you to get that WWE champ, that Universal Champion, or the WWE Championship. I need you to beat AJ Styles, or I need you to beat Roman Reigns at Mania. Do it for me. I'll be watching from the sidelines. I've helped you in bad times and good times. Please win this for me. Dang on well, that would have happened if this was a Spike Lee joint. Let's be real here. Or Baron Blade would have took a move and he would have been paralyzed. He would have never been walked again. Something tragic like that would have happened. So yeah, Pulse, you made a big mistake there by saying it's a Spike Lee joint. I'm just speaking the truth. And by the way, a lot of Caucasian fans got mad of how the story was in NBA 2K16 over the Spike Lee story. They didn't like how they were white being with a black family.
You don't actually walk around backstage in my career, which is so good. Oh my God. I hated walking around back. It was horrible. It was so pointless, man. Like if I never see that valet parking dude again, it'd be too soon. There was no point in talking to anybody. They all said the same thing. All the women were like, Stephanie McMahon's the greatest woman that's ever lived. God, please, God, tell her that I said something good about her. Please. It was really scary. It was horrible. Walking around backstage, they basically took the menus, split them up, and then put 20,000 40-minute cutscenes in between everything. It was bad. I hated it when I first played it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the backstage walking around. I didn't like when people wanted me last year to walk around backstage and talk to people backstage. I'm like, why? What? I'm going to talk to this dude. He's going to be like, hey, dude, good match, man.
That's kind of sad. People, ever since SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, wanted Free Roam to return. And 2K did it so bad to the point that the fans just didn't want it anymore. And to be honest, that's kind of a smart move if you want people to shut up and try to get things back. And it's still crazy how people, when they don't learn their lesson, with that happening with Free Roam, they think, oh man, bringing back GM mode is going to be a good idea. 2K is going to give it justice. No! If they bring back, the thing is, when 2K adds another mode, it's going to get bad. It's going to be bad from the start. Or it's going to slowly grow to be bad. It's either the or. No matter what, it's going to be having its bad times. And it's just ridiculous. It's kind of sad that we spent so many years, saying, oh man, I want Free Roam. I want to see what these superstars do. And all they do is tell you that they like pizza. Stephanie Man's the greatest. Oh man, management sucks. They try to wear you down. Stupid stuff like that. It's kind of sad that 2K they didn't put no passion into it. Simple as that. It is as lifeless as it started. And fans were so excited they put $60 and up onto it. And they're probably going to do it again in the future. But let's continue.